I'm really thankful for this opportunity to introduce to you the people who don't know Paul Bowes. Paul's been a coach at the London Forest City Flyers for over 35 years. Many involvement in the NWBA, Paralyzed Veterans Camps of America. Truly been here for a long, long time and has done a lot for our sport. He has made a positive impact on players and coaches, both male and female, rookies through Paralympians from all over the world. Paul did it with passion, class, courage, and grace too. It is my great honor to invite you to now watch a video of my good friend and a friend at NWBA presentation to the Hall of Fame. I present to you Paul Bowes, Hall of Fame, class of 2025.
Hi, my name is Billy Langeveld. I'm the president of the London Wheelchair Basketball Association. For more than 35 years, Paul has dedicated countless hours and weekends traveling across North America with the Flyers. In my 25 years with the team, what stands out most about Bowsy is his relentless pursuit to better the game. Coaching the Flyers was always his top priority, but that didn't stop him from engaging in meaningful conversations with other coaches, officials, and most importantly, new players. Countless times after a long day in the gym, while the team was getting ready to head out, you could find Coach Bowsy on the sidelines of another court, discussing what could be improved, highlighting positive aspects of what he saw. His passion for the sport extends beyond his own team. It was always about helping others grow too. One thing has always set Bowsy apart is his commitment to making everyone, no matter their skill level, feel welcomed and seen. His dedication to creating an inclusive environment is what has made him such a significant contributor to the sport, not only within the NWBA, but across the broader wheelchair basketball community. It is an honor and privilege for London to have Bowsy recognized by the NWBA Hall of Fame. Congratulations, Bowsy. I will now pass it off to Hall of Famer Mike Frogley.
It's my great honor to partner with Coach Lykins in presenting Paul Bowsy, for induction into the NWBA Hall of Fame class of 2025. I remember the first camp Bowsy and I did together back in the spring of 1998. We went to St. John, New Brunswick. Mike Doucette, the host of the camp, took us out to dinner before the camp was starting. At dinner, he said, "We tried to get name coaches like Tim Frick and Joe Higgins, but we got you guys instead. It took a while, but now you're a name coach. I wonder if Mike's going to invite you back to do a camp." As I was putting together my thoughts, there were several things that came to mind. First, how do we cover all of what Bowsy's done in his career in just a couple of minutes? Here's a very short version of Bowsy's impact. First, there's the number and breadth of teams he coached and his coaching experience. I had the privilege of being part of Bowsy's journey. For a decade, Bowsy, Jerry Tonello, and I coached together on the Canadian senior men's national team. We coached together in many gold medal games. In fact, I remember one gold medal game against the U.S. where Bowsy took time to help the U.S. coaching staff. The U.S. had too many points on the court. Dan Burns was frantically trying to get Frank Burns to correct the players on the court so they didn't get a technical. Bowsy tapped me on the shoulder and yelled over to Frank, "Need any help with the math?" Frank and Dan smiled back and politely declined. After the free throws for the bench technical, the game resumed. We covered a lot of ground together. Here's a list of the teams he's coached at various times over the years. The London Forest City Flyers in the NWBA and CWBL. The Rhine River Rhinos in the German Professional League. The Ontario Provincial Men's Team. The Ontario Provincial Women's Team. The Canadian U23 Men's National Team. The Canadian Senior Women's National Team. The Canadian Senior Men's National Team. He coached in 4 straight gold medal games at the Paralympics. People get revered and put in the Hall of Fame for winning once. Does this mean we have to come back again next year and put Bozy in again? Second, the impact he's had on players over the years has been tremendous. We're here today with some of those players, but I thought I'd share the words of a couple of them. Hall of Famer Paul Schulte said this about Bozy: I just immediately associated him with the pioneer coaches and advocates that have collectively guided our great sport to what it is today. The legendary and recently retired Pat Anderson shared these thoughts on Bozy. The sense of humor and joy he brought to the gym were magnetic, and he helped pull me into the sport and hold me there. Imagine our sport if Bozy had not helped Pat get pulled in. These statements and the values you hear players and coaches speak of when referring to Bozy reflect the culture Bozy built wherever he went. Bozy built team culture before we called it team culture, and it became popular. This brings me to the third point. Bozy always uses his time to coach and teach and grow the game. So let's keep doing that. Let's use the lessons Bozy has been teaching. Go out today, do one thing that grows the game. If you're an athlete, go work on one new skill, or go chat with a player from another team. If you're a coach, patiently teach one of your players or a player from another team, or shake hands with an official or a coach from another team. If you're a supporter of a team, find a way to help your team or another team. Take a moment to grow yourself and build relationship with somebody outside of yourself. Do what Bozy does. Bozy's greatest legacy is not his winning, although he's done that a lot. His greatest legacies are the relationships he's built over the years and the growth and connection that he's led in the game. Thank you, Bozy, for growing the game and the connections that are the foundation for an even greater growth of the game in the future. We will each work to follow your example and the path you've laid before us. On behalf of the NWBA and players, coaches, and fans across the US and around the world, welcome to the Hall of Fame. Woo!
NWBA blue, baby.
Woo! Your Hall of Fame ring.
Thank you very much, Frog.
It's an honor.
That is
Absolute
beautiful.
honor.
Thanks so much, buddy. Love you.
Love you too, bud.
Billy, thanks so much. Love you.
You do.
Love you, Flyers. Thank you so much for being here tonight. Let me put this on. Frog, you can hold that for me. Let me put that on. Wow, what an honor. I also have to put something else on here quickly. Just to help me read a little bit. So, hello everyone. Wow, again, the NWBA Blue. So proud to put this on and so honored. It does feel strange talking to people that are not even here, but I can assure you that I'm hilarious. So I'm sure you'll be laughing on April 12th when this is shown. So thank you to all the people who nominated me and the induction committee for welcoming me into the NWBA Hall of Fame. Your letters of support from Ron Lykins, Mike Frogley, Pat Anderson, Paul Schulte, the London Forest City Flyers, Jamie Marie Shaluti, and Kathleen Reeves brought tears to my eyes. DK, I want to thank you so much for the kind words. Thanks, Ron, one of my mentors, and one of the GOATs in coaching, for including me in the NWBA Hall of Fame. Thanks, Coach Frog, for the induction, and Billy as well, and my London Flyers for being here tonight. Ron Lykins was my first NWBA coach that I followed at my first PVA camp in Illinois in 1992. And Frogley, a fellow Hall of Fame member, for being here tonight to present me with this ring and jacket means a hell of a lot. We spent many years together, around 20 years together, coaching Team Canada and rooming together for all those years, and at great tournaments in Warm Springs, Colorado, and Birmingham. Thanks, Kathleen Mead and Frogley, for moving my induction forward during this difficult time in my life. And again, thank you for the London Forest City Flyers, the real reason why I'm here today. Thanks for sharing and being part of a special day in my life. First of all, I'd like to address the elephant in the room. I know for many of you who have not seen me for a while, I've put on a little bit of weight. But seriously, I thought my life was over on June 21st, 2024, when I first got my diagnosis of cancer. Stage 4 pancreatic, stage 4 liver, and stage 4 stomach cancer. It was the worst day of my life. Then many of you in this room, many around the world started sending messages and sending me messages of well wishes and all of the positive, comforting, insightful, kind, and well wishes of positivity gave me a new life. You gave me the hope and the inspiration to finish this, to fight this horrible disease with everything that Lori and I have in our hearts. You are all my family, and I love you all. And the love that I felt across the world has told me that life is not over, and we are going to live life, this life, with all that we have. As I say to the athletes, there are no problems, there are only solutions. That is what we are hoping for along my journey of cancer. I am 4 months over my expiration date, so I can tell you something is working. And that is the power of positivity and the love that I've been shown from the wheelchair basketball community all over the world. I also coach Soldier On, who competes at the Warrior Games in the United States. And in the Invictus Games, Soldier On athletes have taught me that friends and family, they have your six. The six is your back. That family and friends are all that matters, and that means that you have my back, and you have had my back for many, many years. Lori and I are forever grateful for the love that you have shown along my journey. I love you all. I feel the love from all of you, and it's very important that you know that I feel that love. So, with that, let's get back to why we are actually here. Me. All right. That would be laughter all over the place, right? So, I know most of you are thinking, who the hell is this guy? Well, I can tell you that I have proudly represented the London Forest City Flyers in the NWBA every year since 1988. The only Canadian team constantly over the last 37 years, and we love playing in the USA in the NWBA. I have coached all over the world and can say that with as many teams in so many divisions, with each division hosting a national championship, that the NWBA is the best league in the world. Some of those teams or tournaments have become lifelong friends throughout the greatest sport in the world. Tournaments like the Houston Shootout with Paula Dodd and Peggy Turner, the Bluegrass Festival in Lexington, and the Spitfire Challenge in Toronto. Teams like the Toledo Silver Streaks, Columbus, Pittsburgh, Cleveland, Johnstown, Rochester, Edinburgh, Philadelphia, Detroit, Fort Wayne, Grand Rapids, Mary Free Bed, and so many other cities that we have been to have given our team the great honor to play against so many great teams in so many great tournaments and created lifelong friendships. When the legend DK called me a few weeks ago, I was totally surprised and overwhelmed with emotion. He and Kathleen Reeves had created some ruse that DK wanted me to be on one of his podcasts in order to get me on the phone. I fell for it, hook, line, and sinker. I had no idea that I was being inducted to the Hall. That is the day that I got the call to the Hall, one that everybody looks forward to, and what an honor to get that call from Dave Kiley, the legend in the game. To join so many others in the Hall, like DK, Ron Lykins, Mike Frogley, Dan Burns, Jamie Marine Shuley, Mike Woodard, Lou Shaver, the illustrious Frank Burns. Oh, speaking of Frank Burns, this is his jersey. He stole a jersey from me in 1999 and replaced it with one of his own jerseys. So to the late FTB, this is his jersey, and I hang this in honor of him. I also have a souvenir from Frank that he gave me during one of the tournaments in Warm Springs. He gave us a hockey puck. That's the way he said it, a hockey puck, with a $1 bill on it and a note that said, "Go back to Canada, use my American dollar bill, buy yourself a new home and a Jaguar to put in it." That was Frank T. Burns, the man we all love. Will Waller, Paul Schulte, Mel Jewett, Bruce Russell, Reg McClellan, Steph Wheeler, Lee Montgomery, Paul Jackson, Frank Brazili, Bob Simon, Harry and Cheryl Vines, Brad Hedrick, and the great Tip Thibodeau, many of my compatriots and colleagues over my years, and so many others that have been invited into this great Hall of Fame. It is an honor that I will cherish forever. I never dreamed of being in the Hall of Fame. It is greatly appreciated. I want to thank my coach mentors, Ron Lykins, Dan Burns, Frank Burns, Lou Shaver, and fellow Canadians, Daryl Nordell, Christian Lasserre, Kathy Ludwig, Mike Frogley, Tim Frick, and my longtime mentor and listening board, Joe Higgins. Also, the Canadian Wheelchair Basketball Association for all of the support over my career. I want to also congratulate my fellow inductees, honorees, Stevie Welsh, Matt Scott, and Opie. I have had the extreme pleasure of either coaching them, coaching with them, or coaching against them in some epic United States-Canada games. They were three of the best players to ever don the USA jersey. We had some tough games, always tough games, but a deep respect between our two countries. From my early days as a London Flyer, I knew this would be a passion for a lifetime. I am not here today because of any special skill that I have. It is here because of all of you, all of the players, all of the athletes. We just love to coach. In a very large way, you have all contributed to my induction into this Hall of Fame. The athletes and the NWBA as a program is what it's all about. That's what coaches care about. I started coaching at a fairly early age. Mr. Adrian Tuns, my grade 8 school teacher on the frozen schoolyard of St. Michael's School, coaching broomball. Yes, it's actually a sport. You can look it up. He said to me, "Bose, you can score a lot of goals, but you also choose to pass it off and help the younger students. I really like that. I think you would be a good coach. Would you like to coach the younger grades with me?" That started off my career as a coach. But my first taste of coaching was my mom and dad, who instilled in my brother and my sister fair play, intensity, integrity, honesty, accountability, and above all, communication. I can remember my dad getting phone calls from parents asking him to tell their kids to do their homework, to make their beds, or to do their chores. That taught me that the athlete was just not taught on the court, but on and off the court to make them better people. I hope I have done that. Then one tragic day in 1984, my stepson Jason lost his legs to a horrific train accident. We almost lost him that day, but he survived and fought through so many surgeries with a positive outlook and courage that I could never muster in a million years. Jason's strength was a catalyst for me in fighting my cancer and a strength for me today. We supported him in any way we could, and if he could fight it, then so could we. Jason is my hero. This would be my stepping stone into the world of wheelchair basketball. That was in 1985 when Jason called me up and said they had fired their head coach and they thought of me as a coach. And I was like, what? Are you kidding me? What, as a water boy? He said, no, you as the head coach. And I said, I don't know basketball. I barely, let alone wheelchair basketball. But then I thought, I will take on the job. I love sport. And then I thought, if I was going to do this, I was going to immerse myself in learning, and I bought the book on wheelchair basketball, written by Dan Burns, Lou Shaver, and Brad Hedrick. So I read that book and loved it. And this is the book. This book is at least 40 years old, eh, Frogley? With all of my notes in here, I still keep it and use it today. That's why I get beat so much. No, just kidding, guys. Your book is fantastic. That book got me hooked. I highlight it every day and wanted to be just like them and hopefully one day coach at the Paralympic Games. And that is what brings us here today. A career full of amazing memories and friendships that will last forever. I do not see myself as anyone special. Everyone in this room has a special trait, a special talent, a special gift, and we all have our stories. I simply love the game and love the people in it. This is both humbling and appreciative to be recognized for doing something that I simply love to do. I put a whistle in my mouth. I walk across that thick black line over there, walk to center court. I blow that whistle, and all of the athletes come meet me at center court, eager to practice every week. I get such a thrill from fooling them, and I've taught them the same stuff for over 37 years. I can say that it's an amazing group, and they are always willing to learn something new, and they push hard every single practice. I simply love my team. So when I did show that I wanted to stick around, my original mentor in the sport, Wheelchair Basketball Canada Hall of Famer Keith Cartwright, encouraged me to take some coaching courses. So I went to Illinois for my very first ever NWBA PVA camp as a camper in 1992. A coaching camp, a camp that consisted of 100 players and about 7 or 8 coaches. And I learned from the best coaches in the United States. What an eye-opener this was. I decided to pick a coach and follow him around. That coach was Ron Lykins. I watched him conduct his drills, scream, yell, holler, and basically berate every athlete in the group. And I thought to myself, who the heck was this guy? Turns out he was one of the GOATs of the sport. I couldn't have made a better choice. His knowledge of the game spurred me on to want to be that knowledgeable. I took over 2 pads of notes from Ron's teachings. Ron is humble, and Ron has just been nominated for the Olympic and Paralympic Coaching Hall of Fame. Can't get much better than that. Congratulations, Ron. So 4 years later, I was put on the staff at the NWBA PVA camp and loved every minute of my teaching at those camps. Frog was one of those coaches as well, and we had such a good time with all of those athletes and all of those coaches learning all the while. You see, as coaches, we don't aspire to be in the Hall of Fame. We look to inspire our athletes to be the best that they can be, and then possibly one day they would be standing in this very spot as the 3 gentlemen inducted with me tonight are going to be inducted tonight. So since my good friend DK called me a few weeks ago to welcome me into the hall, the call from the hall, as we call it, I have pinched myself every day. There's not a lot left of me, but I do find something to pinch, and it's just an absolute honor to be here. One of my key philosophies in coaching is communication. Another is sportsmanship. And within that, we play hard, we practice hard, but we respect our officials, we respect our opponents, our classifiers, our organizers, and especially all the volunteers that make this game possible. Another thing I like to say is encourage, don't discourage. Find the athletes doing something right. In the old school days, we used to always comment on what they were doing wrong. Tell an athlete what they're doing right, and they're absolutely more willing to listen to what you're telling them when they do something wrong. So find your athletes do something right. An old adage for coaches is, athletes don't care how much you know until they know how much you care. Show the athletes that you care. I feel I have done that in my coaching career and how I treat people around the world. The support from around the world, the number one thing that I have read that has been written about me is they felt how much I cared about the athletes. So do it now. Show people you care. My support during my cancer journey has been overwhelming and cannot be measured in deeds, but words are what has kept me going. All the positivity has allowed me to continue coaching throughout the year. So I have changed the narrative. Instead of cancer beating me, we are beating cancer, one positive comment at a time. This sport is given to me in so many ways that I could never give back. The NWBA and Wheelchair Basketball Canada has provided me with a lifetime of memories, great experiences, and worldwide friendships that include Nepal, Germany, Australia, Holland, and of course the United States. So many other countries with so many friendships. I cut my teeth coaching in the NWBA and learned so much from so many coaches, classifiers, volunteers, tournaments, athletes, tournament organizers over the years. They have been a big part of this award. Thank you to my wife, Lori. She's too shy to come out here on camera, but without her unwavering support and love of my local and global travels, this would not have been possible. She is my rock. I love you, and thank you so much for your support. It has been amazing to be part of the Canadian national team, competing against some of my friends on Team USA, players and coaches I now consider my best friends. I have had a front row seat to the best players in the world playing at the highest level. Canada and USA had some epic, epic battles. For me, it comes down to making choices. Do I want to sit around and mope about my illness, or do I think about the choice to live life when I can, while I can, until I am no longer able? I am willing to take living life. Cancer will not define us. We have that choice. I've decided to make that choice to live the life that we can, to define our own destiny. We are the master of our fate. We are the captain of our souls. That comes from the poem from William Henley and is the Invictus team poem. So we define, we make choices. That's what I'm asking of you. So I didn't just dream. I was awake for every single moment of every single tournament. It seems like a dream, but I was around for every moment of so many things that happened in Canada over the last 30 years. And so excited to have spent 37 years in the NWBA. So in closing, I ask you to continue to love the game, respect the game, and be good stewards of the game. Respect the history that it has given to me and the history that it will give to all of you in your promising futures. The NWBA Hall of Fame preserves this, and I want to thank Frank T. Burns and DK in honoring this and making the Hall of Fame truly a remarkable event. Thanks again to everyone for sharing in my induction. You have no idea what this means to me. So, sorry I could not be there in person, but I could not find insurance to get me across the border to cover. And it means so much to me to be in this Hall of Fame. And it hurts me that I can't be there in person. But know that my spirit is there with you, and my team will be down there competing. Well, I guess I'm talking wrong. They are down there competing, and I wish them all the best. And I can't thank the London Forest City Flyers enough. They've been my family for 37 years, and I love them all. Thank you all for listening to me, and thank you all for inducting me into the NWBA Hall of Fame. It's greatly appreciated. Love you all.